I'm going to show you two ways that you can use the block quote function in the CMS. You'll see it's a really good way of reiterating something that someone said in the article or pulling out an important bit of information in a way that's going to stand out on the page. You'll see the quote has got coloured quote marks. These are based on the section that your website is located in. So this is the news website and it's in the blue section, so we get blue quote marks. The main quote is in grey, and then there's also an optional source or attribution line where you can actually put the name of the person who's said the quote. So what we'll do is look at how to actually insert a quote in our article page. So I'm going to go to the article I want to put the quote on. I'm going to click edit. I'm going to scroll down. I'll make this big as well. Now, a key thing to remember is that the quote that you use as the block quote is usually a repeat of something that's already in the article. So what I'm going to do is choose the quote from the text, but I'm just going to copy it. I'm not actually going to remove it completely. So this is the quote that I'm going to put in the form of a block quote. I'm going to do Command C on a Mac or Control C on a PC. Copied that text. I then want to work out where I'm going to put the quote on the page, and I'm going to put it a bit higher than where it actually appears. Otherwise you just get a repeat of the quote in the text next to the actual block quote, and I think it's a bit better to have it in a different location. So I put the cursor a bit higher up, and then I'm going to create a bit of space, paste in a repeat of the quote. So that's actually in twice now, but one of them we're going to turn into a block quote. And to do that, I put the cursor in the P box that we want to turn into the quote, and then I hit this new block quote button in the toolbar at the top. And I do that, and you'll see what it's done. It's moved the quote that I selected into the block quote box, and it's also put in a bit of dummy text here for the source or attribution. The first thing I'm going to do is remove the speech marks from the quote that we put in the block quote, because it's already got these visual blue speech marks there. So actually we don't need to repeat those. And the other thing I'm going to do is put in the name of the person who actually said this quote, and that's Dr. Judy Clegg. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to copy her job title as well, so people know what she does. Select quote source or attribution, paste it in, and there you'll see that's replaced that dummy text with her name and job title. So what I can do now is, if I make this small, I can just preview how it looks, and we'll look in this new window, and we'll see that quote has gone in as we wanted it to. Of course, the original quote is still in the text, which is what we want, but it just means that if you're just scanning down the article, you're actually going to be drawn to that without having to read the full detail of the text. We can have a quick look at how that's going to look on mobile view. So if we have a look at mobile portrait, you'll see that the block quote actually takes up the full width of the mobile view here. It's the same on landscape. If I scroll down, that takes up a full width. On tablet, we've got a bit more space, so we use the right aligned version again, and it's the same for tablet on landscape. So it's important to have a little think about where the quote is best positioned in your article before you actually insert a block quote, because once you've inserted it, it's easy to remove it, but actually moving it up and down the article is a bit fiddly, so you're better taking it out completely and then putting it back in if you do need to move it. So that's the first example of using a block quote on a CMS full width article page. What we're going to do now is look at another example. This is a postgraduate taught prospectus page, and I want to put a quote beneath the photo of the student here. Now, the quote on this page is within a content layout table, which, if you look here, that's what this orange box around the outside shows. And you'll see how a block quote behaves slightly differently when it's inside an orange content layout table. So what I'll do is I'm going to paste it in the normal way that I would do. I'll then hit the quote button, and you'll see that the same thing has happened, where the text has gone into the quote. So I'm going to remove those speech marks because we've already got them in blue. And then there's a quote source attribution line at the bottom, which I've got saved, so I'll paste that in and the quote should be ready. So Viewing it on this screen, the quote is still right aligned to show that it's a block quote, but if I actually preview it now, you'll see that within a layout table, the quote is actually full width. So it's taking up the full width of the column that it's within, and this is on desktop view as well. If you remember, it went full width on mobile and tablet view when it was used on the other example. But in this example, because it's within the orange layout table, the quote will stretch to fit the full width of the column even on desktop view. And we can see how that behaves on mobile, portrait and landscape. I won't show you all of them. So there's the block quote underneath the photo, and we'll just look at tablet one as well. The block quote has gone underneath there. So you can see it's behaving slightly differently within the table. This just means that you can be a bit more creative with the way you use it within tables. And actually, if this was then right aligned underneath the photo, it wouldn't look great anyway, because we'd have a big gap here and it would all be squashed and quite long. So the right alignment is turned off within a layout table. That's the key thing to remember. I'll just show you quickly how you can remove a quote. I know we mentioned it before. To do that, all you have to do is select the quote and then hit the quote button, and you'll see the text just reverts to a normal paragraph, and then a normal paragraph with bold text inside it.